How good was Roy Keane? Roy Keane won 7 Premier League titles, 4 F.A Cups, and the Champions League for Manchester United during the club's most successful era. Sit down Frank Lampard and Paul Scholes. These guys, including Gerrard, wouldn't even be in the conversation of the best Premier League midfielder ever if Keane played in their generation. This video is especially for those Gen Z kids out there that didn't really get to watch Roy Keane. Was Roy Keane really any good? Well, let's find out. Roy Keane was far better than the popular trio that stirs a lot of arguments: Steven Gerrard, Frank Lampard, and Paul Scholes. The Premier League has never had a midfielder better than the Irishman. He didn't have Scholes' talent, Gerrard's athleticism, and he didn't score as many goals as Lampard. But none of these guys could control the game like Keane could. None of them had the influence Keane had at Manchester United for little over 12 years on their teams or English football. He was the most important player for one of the world's biggest clubs during a period where they were most successful. With Manchester United, Keane was a complete winner. When the feisty midfielder left Nottingham Forest for the Red Devils, he was still a young player with a lot of potential. Keane developed his football skills while he was a student at Forest. Keane developed into an intelligent, talented, and enthusiastic footballer under the able guidance of great coach Brian Clough. It was only a matter of time before a major team came calling for his services, and Sir Alex Ferguson was delighted to bring the Irish youngster to Old Trafford. Keane played 480 times for United, surpassing George Best to claim the 12th spot on their list of all-time appearances. Prior to that, the Irishman played 154 times for Nottingham Forest, scoring an impressive 33 goals in 3 seasons at the City Ground, an unexpectedly high total. It was more than plenty to explain why, in 1993, Blackburn and United were willing to break the British transfer record to sign him. Keane was given the captain's armband after fellow legend Eric Cantona retired after making a strong impression on Sir Alex Ferguson. Even Keane would not have imagined how many titles he would win with Manchester United when the baton was transferred. He was an inspiration on the field and enjoyed the responsibilities of being captain. He was always assertive and would contend for every ball. Keane would never give up, and he frequently took the triumph on his own shoulders. No matter what, he was always held responsible. He is undoubtedly one of the best captains the Premier League has ever seen. When he was 18 years old, Keane was living off the government in Cork, had been overlooked by English clubs due to his height, and was set to sign with Cove Ramblers of the Irish 2nd Division. However, by the time he turned 28, he was United's captain, the highest paid player in the Premier League, the best midfielder in the world, and the best player in all of English football. However, any mention of Roy Keane, the footballer today, is likely to be followed by comments about his altercation in the tunnel with Patrick Vieira, his horrifying tackle on Erling Haaland's father, which sadly ended his career, or how he made his teammates and the opposition cower in fear. It's almost criminal how rarely Keane's passing ability is mentioned. The Irishman's passing was world class, in addition to his fierce intelligence, endless energy, and remarkable positional awareness. Wayne Rooney claimed that Keane was the best passer of the ball he had ever played with. Rooney spent 9 years at Old Trafford playing with Scholes, and he spent 11 years with Gerrard and Lampard in the England national team, but it took just 1 full season with Keane for him to realise how good he was with the ball. Darren Fletcher also said that his former captain had the best first touch he had ever seen, given the tremendous footballers he played with and against. Fletcher's claim is also very remarkable. One time, Rio Ferdinand got the ball and passed it to Gary Neville, who was the right back at that time. Now, in a normal game, that would have been regarded as a smart pass. However, Keane turned around and just started going at it. He said, "Pass the effing ball forward, take risks. You're not at Leeds or West Ham now, you're at Manchester United." Rio said, "I got home later that day and thought, this guy is nuts. How am I going to deal with him on a daily basis? And then I realised that you've got to take chances, and that's how I ended up playing my career. Not just passing the simple ball to Gary, but into the strikers to make a difference." Keane expected others to live up to these standards, but he also led by example. He never really played Hollywood passes, which looked nice but weren't always effective since they allowed the opposition time to shift across and impede the attack. Keane constantly put the ball into the feet of teammates, which is why his passes were so successful at breaking defensive lines. Scholes was able to play more forward thanks to him, and United's forwards were involved as well. When he gained control, the squad came alive, with David Beckham and Ryan Giggs sprinting off of him and the fullbacks pressing forward. United was secure whenever Keane had the ball. Every other person had the confidence and desire to run forward, because they knew that he'd always find them with an inch-perfect pass. He made things look so easy with his excellent one-touch control and playing precise passes to his teammates with the next touch. In the late 1990s, when United was the most exciting counter-attacking team in Europe, Keane's passing helped the club advance up the field and into positions where they could hurt the opposition. He played as a conventional box-to-box midfielder in his first 2 seasons, scoring a decent number of goals. Then he gradually changed his game and became a more commanding figure in midfield, winning possession and launching attacks as opposed to sprinting past the opposition. Early in the 2000s, United changed from a 4-4-2 formation to playing a lone striker, and Keane himself slowed down. He was unable to continue to be the dynamic force from midfield he had been because of the hip surgery he underwent in 2002. His on-field aggression dropped a notch or two, and he switched up his approach a bit, but his passing remained faultless and helped United control games. Despite his older age, his influence was still very strong. No touch was wasted, the ball never moved backwards or sideways for no reason, and it was never carelessly played in the direction of a forward's head. He was precise, effective, and efficient. He was the all-round complete midfielder. The Irishman allegedly told Phil Neville, "If you're ever in trouble, even if I've got men around me, just give me the ball and I'll get you out of trouble." This kind of leadership goes beyond yelling at teammates, diving headfirst into tackles, or the conventional British and Irish notions of what makes a good leader on the field. One may say that this representation of a leader, which Keane personified, contributes to the reason why many people have undervalued his passing, his aggressive chat, and the moments of bossing the midfield. Keane's performance against the Netherlands in 2001, when Ireland defeated them 1-0 in Dublin and advanced to the World Cup, serves as the ideal illustration of this. Everyone in Ireland recalls Keane's crushing tackle on Mark Overmars in the first minute of the game, because they saw it as the game's turning point, and a sign that the Dutch squad wouldn't have the day they were hoping for. Although such was the case, Overmars continued to play brilliantly, and Keane's influence went far beyond that particular tackle. The Ireland captain played a great role in the creation of the chance that led to Jason McAteer's goal. Keane collected the ball out wide, pushed past Mark van Bommel, drew a tackle from Jaap Stam, and then passed the ball to Damien Duff. Duff then passed the ball to Steve Finnan in the wide area, who eventually found McAteer to score and secure Ireland's spot in the World Cup. That goal resulted from Keane leading the team forward and taking full responsibility, as he frequently did for United and Ireland. The bigger the game, the better Keane played for the crucial games. Sir Alex Ferguson never rested or rotated him. Only one of his 79 appearances in the Champions League was as a substitute. Keane was very crucial to the squad, unlike the rest of United's great team. He spent most of his playing days playing as a defensive midfielder and a central midfielder, and he scored a total of 70 goals and provided 42 assists. The reason why he eventually left Old Trafford was because of his heated argument with Ferguson in November 2005, and not his declining abilities. Keane wasn't the player he had been a few years ago, but his performance against Liverpool in January 2005 showed that he was still capable of controlling a game. Wayne Rooney's goal gave United a 1-0 victory at Anfield, and their captain's performance was crucial. Despite being in the prime of his career, Gerrard was unable to match the 33-year-old Irish player, who retired 18 months after that game, towards the end of his career, with many injuries and a hip operation. In the most unfriendly stadium in Britain for United, Keane ran the game against one of the best midfielders in the world, thanks to anecdotes and books. Keane's mythological image has grown since he retired, and this caricature may have overshadowed his footballing prowess. He set an example for his teammates by always fighting for the ball, using it skillfully and effectively, and inspiring the best performance from them. Being overly demanding of your teammates and shouting and yelling will only get you so far. You must also be able to play, and Keane was one of the best. So, what do you think? How good was Roy Keane? Let us know what you think in the comments section. Also, make sure to watch this video in the link, and if you like our content, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and turn on your notifications. On the screen now should be another good video worth watching, so click on that video and we will see you in the next one.